Welcome to Global Music Mayhem, where it's all about the music.
Hi guys, welcome back. I have freshly come off of a live gig with Blind Channel, and man, I have to tell you, what a great live gig. I thought I knew what to expect with the band, and I had all these expectations of, okay, this is what I'm gonna expect, and not only did they just blow that out of the water, they just completely made me lose my mind, and I was so impressed by these guys. Like, especially at our venue here in Seattle, it was a super small stage, and you've got these 6 guys trying to navigate each other without killing each other on stage or hurting someone because it's so small. And the energy level was still so high, and they were still flying all over stage. It was totally manic, and the crowd was insane. Those who didn't know them quickly became fans and quickly became interested in their music. You know, there was no way they were going to escape not become interested in Blind Channel. There was just no way. I talked to people before and after their set, and there were quite a few people who did not know who they were. And I said, oh, you want to make sure to see these guys. They're super good and so much energy. You're going to have fun. So definitely keep an eye on the band. Don't walk away to the bar. You know, stick around and make sure you catch what they're doing. And sure enough, they completely just pulled and sucked into that show. And it was so cool last night watching those aha moments with fans that just finally discovering Blind Channel. So super cool. You know, I have to say, before the show, I sat down and I talked with Joel and Niko, and they were so kind and gracious. I did do the questions that I knew they weren't going to want to really talk about, and I'm specifically talking Eurovision because it's been a year after the whole song contest has ended. And, you know, that's a rough one that people get fielding a lot of those questions from interviews along the way, and then they just don't want to talk about it anymore. But because this is the first time in the States, they were kind enough to go ahead and let me ask those questions so I could kind of do that backstory for you guys that don't know who they are, fill it in a little bit, and then I don't ever have to ask those questions again. And if you guys have the questions, you got them answered, and we can just go past it, because Blind Channel is so much more, so much more ever that Eurovision could ever make them. They are such a great band. You know, they've been around for quite some time. So you guys, you know, they're going to be hitting their 10th anniversary, I believe, next year. This is like their 9th year together, and they've done so much in 9 years. It's incredible. Like, I didn't even know that much about them when I came to them, and I went back and I found all the other stuff about them, and such incredible stuff out there. There's so much music to be had. So for those of you guys who don't know them, but maybe you're going out to see From Ashes to New, or you're going to go catch Fire from the Gods, Blind Channel is on this lineup. You want to make sure you show up for all of the openers on this tour, because it's not stacked with just locals and stuff. And even there's nothing against locals either. I'm not slamming on locals. It's just, this is a stacked tour. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize exactly what's on this tour. So if that tour is coming your way still across the US, you want to catch it. Get your tickets, get some merch, support the bands, you know, have a great time, and realize that probably the next time we see Blind Channel, it's not going to be in as many smaller venues. They're probably going to be in the mid stages or larger, because they are that level of a band. Not necessarily here in the States yet, but around the rest of the world, that's where they are. So the next time they come back, you know, it's going to be a lot more bigger venues. So if you want those intimate tours right now, this is the time to catch them. I do have to point out that New York has a headline show, and I'm so jealous. I don't know how you guys got so lucky. I'm super jealous of that, because the set that they're doing right now is 30 minutes, but you're going to get a full headline gig with so many more songs. So don't miss it if you are in New York. You've got to get tickets. You want to go and really just rejoice with it. So without further ado, guys, I'm going to take you into this interview with Joel and Niko. You know, we're talking tour, talking album, talking about some depth of their music. Of course, we're going to hit some of those Eurovision questions, and then you guys can just get to know these guys a little bit better and know more about Blind Channel. But I do really want to push through here and say you definitely want to get out there and support them. Tickets to concerts, catch the live gigs, buy their merch, and get their new album that's coming out in July. Don't waste time on that. I'm going to have a gallery of photos coming very soon that I will link to the description below, so you guys can check out the video stuff from the show and the live photos. So without further ado, let's just go on into it, guys. Meet Blind Channel if you haven't already met them. And for those of you around the world who love Blind Channel, enjoy getting some new interview stuff with the guys, and get out and support them wherever you are at. Thanks so much, guys. Bye. I am out here in Seattle. We've got Blind Channel in Seattle for the first time ever. I've got Niko and Joel. How are you guys doing?
Great. It's been an awesome tour so far.
Had a little walk around the city, and I love the place.
Now, and we've got some beautiful, wet, normal spring weather here for you today. What has the tour been like for you guys in the States so far?
It's been great. We had a I think 12 shows. It's been really great. We had a lot of good audiences, and we've seen awesome places and a lot of cornfields and mountains and.
Yeah, it's our first time here in America. We really love the place, and we've been around. We've seen like long drives. We've had a couple of day offs. We've learned that if it's not in Walmart, it doesn't exist. Like we learned all that stuff.
Now, what's the best thing you guys have got from Walmart on your tour?
You should see our newest member Alex both is like underpants, like Captain Underpants.
Swimming suit.
Those are always needed.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys have blown up since the Eurovision contest, and I think a lot of people don't realize that you were around before Eurovision and you had already hit your own success before then. What has Eurovision done on top of where you guys already had gotten yourselves launched to?
It was a breakthrough. We had the biggest hit ever from that competition, and I think that right now when we are touring America, touring Europe, doing a lot of shows, and I think it's kind of we're getting away from that stamp we have because many people don't even know that we were there.
Yeah, like Eurovision was what we needed at the moment because like the world was basically shut down because of the pandemic. But
there was nothing else to do.
Yeah, there was nothing else we could do, so we tried to make most of the time rather than just sit around in our rehearsal place. But after that, now we've been busy doing other things, and I think it's cool that many people are already forgetting the Eurovision part because the Eurovision it was just like one time thing. Like we have a career to make now.
Yeah.
So you guys had already had like 2 EPs, and I believe you had 3 full albums, and you guys are working actually on releasing your 4th album in July this year. What is the new album going to be like? I mean, we've heard the first few singles out of it, but for the full experience, are you really going to stay along the same lines as the last album or maybe your first ones? Because when I listen to you guys, I always go, God, these guys remind me of like Linkin Park and early Crazy Town. And it's always kind of a fresh vibe with you guys when you do something new.
Yeah, like we always, when it comes to songwriting, we always want to surprise people. We want to surprise ourselves because that's what keeps us creative and going. The album is gonna be really great. We're super proud of it. It has a lot of songs. Like I think the oldest one was written in 2018, but most of the songs we wrote them during like being this little band in the pandemic, and then turning into this bigger band especially in Finnish and European rock scene, but as well like in here, like big things happened, and throughout this journey we were always writing new songs, and then we just picked the ones that made a best album. So yeah, it really has this nice vibe to it to see what's going on like behind the scenes, if you can say that.
Now, do you think Eurovision, after the fact, opened some doors for you with other artists or working with people that you necessarily hadn't come across before? Because I know you guys you've toured with Amaranth, you've toured with Royal Republic, you've been on major festival stages. You won the Vaken Metal Battle for Finland and played Vaken. I mean, is there something left you haven't done yet? I mean, because for an under 10-year-old band, you guys have done so much.
I would say that Rock and Ring main stage, that's one thing that we're really looking up for. And also right now we have the New York headline show. That's a really like
coming up
massive thing, and I'm really looking forward for that.
Yeah, and there's still a long way to go. Like when we walk down the street, people don't recognize us yet.
Yes.
So there's still a lot of things to do, I think.
See, and I'm that oddball in the States because I love the European scene. So I'm like, I'll know who you are when you walk by me, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I see you. And I'm not going to be like that, oh my God, because that's going to come. I mean, is it like that for you guys over in Europe? I mean, when you're out on the road, what is it like being here versus over there?
In Finland, it is like we
can't walk the streets without security.
Yeah. That's
really?
what it
in
is.
Finland?
Yeah.
But in Germany, I mean, last summer we went to the Sony Music Germany in Berlin. We had like some chats there with the big bosses and something like that. There was like fans waiting for us outside. So
yeah, it happens in Europe as well, but of course the cities are bigger and we're not that big over there, so it's smaller. Yeah. What's been great to see is that even here, like these shows we're playing right now, there's usually a front row or a couple Blind Channel fans in the audience, and that's always cool.
Yeah, it's crazy when we start playing like Dark Side. People knows that you need to put the middle fingers up. And
the best part of every night is when Dark Side begins and you see on the audience's faces that, oh, it's this band, I've heard this song. Like that's always the best moment.
Thank you for the Octane Radio for playing that a lot.
Well, and I think it's funny when you say that because there are a lot of bands that compete in Eurovision over the years, and I've talked to a few people along the way that have done Eurovision, and they're always like, well, I don't want to say that I don't want that audience that came to us, but they found us because of that, but we weren't necessarily happy with the song we put onto the song contest. Did you guys feel like you were happy with putting Dark Side on that, or would you have rather had something else? How did the whole evolvement of that come?
I think all the stars were in line back in that time, so the song was kind of provoking the audience and people because there was this middle finger thing and everything, and
it was the only way to do it, actually,
Yeah.
because we made a couple of these songs that maybe had a bit more the Eurovision vibe, and we fucking hated those. Because, like, if you want to... Because it was promo for us. Like, we can say that out loud. It was promo gig for us.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you're doing a
Cool.
promo gig, you should do it with a song that is 100% you. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Lordy did it. Come on,
Yeah.
Yeah, and also we've been like from like previous years and days, we've been saying not years but months, we've been like rejecting all the interviews about Eurovision because we don't want to talk about it anymore. But I understand, we're in America, we can talk about it.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but like I think we're pretty much over Eurovision. Of course, and it was a great experience. We're never gonna forget that, and we're super thankful for it. Like two things we don't like that much are Eurovision and pandemic, but we owe a lot to both of those things.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think we're all sick of the pandemic because we're slowly just getting shows here in Seattle. We just literally had our mask mandate lifted. So for us, it's great to see live music back. And again, bands we haven't seen before in Seattle.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I think USA is leading the way out of this COVID shitstorm that's been around for 2 years. And it's great to see that there's like Europe is going as well in the data. It's great.
Now, through your lyrics on your songs, I love them because they're all over the place, but I feel like you guys are talking about a lot of really hard-hitting topics in your music. Is that a forethought you do when you do your writing, or does it just kind of the lyrics flow as you listen to the music and put them together?
Well, like I make most of the lyrics, and I think they just like happen. We discuss about things that we're going through as individuals or as a band, and it's really personal stuff. Like we're not very political band, if you know what I'm saying. We're mostly just like, because this band has a sense of therapy for us. Like the touring, the shows, the studio time, the songwriting. It's all about like getting something out of you. Like if we wouldn't write songs, I think we would be in this soft room somewhere, like
The padded room, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially through the pandemic.
yeah, we would go crazy if we didn't do it. It has that kind of sense to it, and it's been great to see that or hear from our fans that the songs and the topics, the difficult topics we're going through, have been really helpful for them, and that kind of creates the point to what we're doing.
Yeah, and I can understand that because I am self-proclaimed a fan of Blind Channel. I love what you guys do, and I love your sound. And I do find that you connect with bands more when you hear something that feels like it's truly coming from a deeper place. And I feel like you do that a lot with your lyrics. And then also there are the lyrics you have that are just so much fun too. But then there are those songs where you really feel like, okay, this is something deeper than just, hey, let's make an album.
Yeah, it's really important to put your heart and soul into what you're doing, because if you fake it, people can see that and you're not gonna make it.
We're emotional beings as humans, so I think if
I'm not anymore, but I'm a wreck. But I sing about
no,
being a
but
wreck.
emotional. But even if you
Emotional
are a
wreck.
wreck, but like people can sense if you're faking it, people somehow they see through it. We've seen that happen.
Well, and I understand that because I think a lot of people I've talked to along the way, I go to shows and I talk to people and they're like, this song or this band saved my life, like literally saved me from killing myself because of their music. And I hear that with so many bands, and it's always something that's surprising that people connect so deeply. Have you had that experience where people have maybe told you something that, like your music pulled them through or literally you saved their life? And what is that like for you?
Many young girls like send the messages on Instagram, and it's kind of scary to read those stories that they're almost killing themselves. And I mean, there are so many messages. I can't just reply all of them. But if our music helps, it's good. But we're not therapists. We're our musicians doing what we do. Songwriters. We can't be like a Dr. Phil to tell them what to do.
Yeah, we get a lot of those messages. Like our inboxes are full all the time, mostly young people, and it's at the same time it's pretty sad. But we also know that most of the messages are saying that thank you, your music saved me, and that's kind of the point, that like that's why we make that music, and it's great to hear. But there are cases where they like want our attention or something like that, or they want us to tell them like, tell me what I should do in this situation, and the only like the most honest thing we can say is we have no fucking idea what you should be doing, like, because we're not therapists. No.
Yeah, it's always tough to hear that when people are desperately reaching out and trying to make the connection.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, now that you guys have traveled far and wide, what have you seen as you've traveled that maybe you think that is maybe something happening around the world to everyone that we can fix, or that you see that you want to see change in?
Hard question.
Very hard. No idea.
No idea. I mean,
should we fix something? We're trying to fix this, like these broken teenagers with our music, like one soul at a time, and that's, I think that's the most of what we can do.
Yeah. Sometimes when we're sleeping in this bus, there's like road that is really bumpy. So they can probably fix the roads.
Especially in Seattle. That's a hot topic here.
Yeah.
All right, final question. What do you guys have coming up after the tour, and any last words you want to say to the fans?
We're going to Europe to tour with Electric Cowboy, previously Eskimo Cowboy. We have a sold-out arena tour in Europe for 60,000 people.
Then we're going back to Finland. We're doing the
27 festival tour.
Then we do our own headline tour in Europe.
32 shows. No, 29. Something like 30 shows.
And after that, maybe one more tour around here or someplace else. One more tour fits to this year, and then it's Christmas.
Yeah. That's our
Christmas
plan.
is awesome.
And we're gonna release the album Lifestyles of the Sick and Dangerous.
That's awesome. That is going to be awesome. And that comes in July. So everyone out there needs to pay attention, pre-order, and get that album so they can support you guys and catch you on any of the other tour dates, because that is what it's about, bringing live music back. Definitely.
Yeah, and for the fans, we love you. Keep supporting and streaming Bad Idea.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.